Well, it certainly isn't a characteristic of the Chestertown that I came to know back in 1966. I had never been to Chestertown, heard of Chestertown, or been on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, even though I'm a native Marylander. I was born in Baltimore. I spent practically all of my life there until I graduated from college and went on to other places. But I am, in a sense, gratified to see change in that community. Because when I came, I experienced discrimination and racism for the first time in my life when I came to the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and specifically Chestertown. In fact, the town had a name for me, I found out in a curious way. They called me the Black at the college. And that was to distinguish me from the native Blacks in the town, because I was known for stepping out of bounds a bit and doing things in the town that were not necessarily the norm for the local Blacks. I'll give you an example very quickly. There was a theater, the Chestertown Theater, where they would show movies. And I remember going there for the first time with a couple of girls from my dorm to see the movie Alfie. I had no idea that there was special seating. So I did what I normally would do in Baltimore, and I sat downstairs with the girls. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody moved me. But when I looked around and thought, well, why are there only white people and I'm the only Black person in this theater? And I looked around, and as I looked around and looked up, I saw the balcony where all of my people were. I later learned that there was some rule or some norm or whatever you would call it, that the Blacks in the town were to sit in the balcony. I guess I was given some, I would think, license more than anything. It wasn't a privilege. It was, they didn't bother me because I was the Black at the college.
There's impactful conversations about the policies we cut. And without being able to have that first initial productive conversation and come together on some common ground, we'll never get to that policy impact. So that's what I was most impressed about. And in the context of the relationship of the town and college, I was also really impressed to see so many college voices involved in the conversation. Pat Nugent, Michael Harvey, Arlene Lee, so many people, stepped in to let their voices be heard, to come together with the Kent County community and really fight for something that they believe would, create some togetherness and to put us on the right path forward. So I think that's just a start, and I'm glad that we're able to start off on some good common ground and have that productive conversation, because there's going to be plenty more that needs to happen in the future.
When I first heard about the proposal of it, I think I was sort of on the same page as Darius, where I thought that, it's a nice gesture, but we should be more focused on actual change and not a superficial change. And so I wasn't really thrilled about it, but after hearing a lot of people, specifically from the Black community in Chestertown, who were in support of it, and then seeing how well the sort of town hall and city council discussion went, which boggled my mind. I did not expect that. That was inspiring. And then on top of keeping that energy and realizing that this isn't a celebration or a monument to something that has happened. It's a sign of, or an acknowledgement of the work that needs to come. And if that is how it's really sort of portrayed, and that's how the community treats it as like a reminder of what needs to happen, I think it's a good thing.